Hey everybody, it's Chris Stafford with The Max Show. That's Massive Abundance Exposed, where we are exposing all the badass secrets of entrepreneurs all around the world. And do we have a badass entrepreneur for you today? Man, Steve Glenn of LivingHomes.net is a super cool cat. This guy develops, builds, designs, LEED certified green homes. Again, he's got a great website, LivingHome.net. I'm really excited about talking to him because his homes are beautiful. He's doing a huge service to all of us, bringing these, what I consider to be affordable homes to the marketplace that are green, LEED certified homes. I mean, how cool is that? But before we start talking to Steve, make sure you jump over to that's massiveabundanceinc.com. Get yourself over there, sign in for some free goodies, and let's talk to Steve Glenn. Hello, everybody. This is Chris Stafford with The Max Show, and we have none other than Steve Glenn in the house. How you doing, Steve?
I'm great. Honored to be here.
Hey, thank you, man. We are better for it. I'm really looking forward to talking to you. You've got such a great company, as a realtor, and you're near and dear to my heart, your businesses. But before we get started talking about your business, maybe tell us a little bit about yourself personally and how you got to start your new company.
Well, I always was fascinated with buildings as a kid. I had Legos and blocks, and I noticed architecture, in particular modern architecture. I grew up in Chapel Hill, North Carolina, and we had a lot of great mid-century modern buildings there, and I wanted to be an architect. When I got to college, I also got exposed to technology, and that's in fact where I spent my career until 7 years ago. But I still thought I might go into design, and I did a summer design program and realized that I have neither the talent nor temperament to be an architect. But I learned about developers and kind of realized there that if you actually care about what gets built, developers are much more important than architects because they're the ones who control budget and really the design agenda. Right. So I said I should become a developer someday because I have no talent to be an architect. Developers are more important ultimately, and the world could use more responsible developers. So
that's great.
But it took a couple decades of doing tech stuff before I felt like the timing was right to do this.
Yeah, that's right. I love your company, and we're going to direct everybody, obviously, to livinghomes.net, where Steve has an amazing website. Because one of the things, especially as realtors, and there are a lot of realtors, Steve, that are watching the show, and a lot of realtors always think, well, building green, designing green is always super expensive. And you have got some amazing homes on your website. I looked at one model, RK-2, which I'm absolutely in love with. I love that site. But tell us about your company. How are you making this affordable, and how does it work for a realtor to go onto your website? How does it work to get that home built?
Well, frankly, our original agenda was to do mostly development, or a lot of development, and then also sell standardized homes, hopefully lower cost than at least you could do if you were to do a similar home by on site. Because our formulas get great. Well, let me back up actually and answer a question you didn't ask. We're targeting a group of people who are variously called the cultural creatives. So they're driving Priuses or Volts, they're shopping at Whole Foods, or buying organic from Walmart. They're buying from Design Within Reach or IKEA. They're buying organic cotton product at Patagonia. They're reading Dwell or Wired. And these consumers really value design, health, and sustainability in the products they buy. Well, the production home builders have not been building for those consumers. So I said, I'm going to start a company to focus on them. And our formula is we get great world-class architects. We integrate an extremely comprehensive environmental program, LEED platinum level. And we're using factory production to build our homes better, quicker, cheaper, and with smaller ecological footprint. So that's what we're doing originally, as I'm starting to say, we were going to both develop and sell homes. But with the worst real estate downturn since the market crash, since the Depression, we decided we would just focus on doing homes for people with land and sit the market out. Well, so we've done bigger homes for wealthier clients during that period than we really set out to do, but we survived. And last year we introduced our first low-cost line, the C6, and then late in the year we introduced a two-story version, the CK series. And it's been very good for us. We've sold a bunch of them, and to answer your original question, I mean, we've been around for 7 years. We've learned a lot about how to build these homes, and we also connected with manufacturers who know how to build lower cost homes, and finally we're able to get homes that offer a level of design, ecological footprint, that certainly in the cities that we're working in you couldn't do on site. It would be more expensive and take much longer to do these homes on site.
I see. That's great. That's great. Well, you do have a great website. I'm certainly going to encourage everybody to get over to livinghomes.net. There's some really cool homes there. What have been, maybe in deference to people in the Midwest that don't fit that demographic that you're talking about, is it a harder sell then around the rest of the country? Because I can see you selling a lot of stuff on the East Coast and the West Coast, but...
Yeah, it definitely seems to be more of a coast issue, but I think, and by the way, we freely admit, we're combining modern design and an extreme comprehensive environmental program, and we freely admit there are lots of people out there who don't necessarily love modern design,
right,
but who might want a very green home. And then there are people who may want modern design and they don't care about the environmental program. But those aren't our consumers.
Right.
I mean, we think that the overlap between people who do like modern and who like sustainable design is pretty big, and we're just trying to do something really well.
Right.
So that's why we're focused on that area. But there are other companies who are hopefully addressing the needs for people who don't like that. I will say, however, with specific respect to modern design, that it's very important for us from a design perspective to do warm modern design. And I think many people who think about modern design maybe think about the more cold, stark stuff that maybe it looks good in an art gallery, but you don't want to live in a space like that.
Right.
We agree. Our homes, are
very warm looking.
Are very warm spaces. So modern need not be incompatible with warm.
Right, exactly. And give our viewers just a sense for what the price, they can go on the website at livinghomes.net. What is the price range we're talking about for homes? And this is for people who already have land.
Right. So the C6 line starts at $39 a square foot, which, and that's for a complete home. Now that's not installed, that doesn't include site work or transportation. All in, you're probably $165, $170, like all costs.
Got it.
So for, 1,000 square foot home, that's $170,000. It's not cheap. You can get cheaper housing for sure, but that's a LEED platinum level home with high-end finishes, lots of glass, lots of sliders. So in the cities we work, at least that's great price value.
Yeah, I was just gonna say it's an amazing price. I work the San Francisco market, so for me, I might be a little bit jaded, but my God, that is so inexpensive to have a LEED-based home. That's amazing.
Right.
I don't know if you know David Gottfried. I interviewed him on the show. He's the originator, of the LEED-based platinum. Yeah, he was just on the show a few months ago. He's a good friend of mine over in Berkeley. So I was telling him I was going to interview you. He's really intrigued with your website. I sent it over to him. But anyways, you are an entrepreneur, and you started this company, which you feel obviously the passion is so apparent, and I just love what you're doing. But all of us entrepreneurs have had huge challenges that we've had to overcome. What is sort of like the biggest challenge that you can recall that you've had, and how did you overcome it?
Um, well, dealing with 2008 through 2012 was one continuous set of challenges.
What
Um,
happened during then?
I guess, well, I mean, we had lots of clients who we had a pipeline that kind of disappeared,
Yeah.
sales pipeline. We had clients who decided not to proceed.
Uh-huh.
Um, just it got tough, and then we just had lots of big learning curve issues in doing what we do with cities that aren't familiar with our kind of construction and manufacturers that aren't familiar. I guess one benefit I've had, because I have done startups a number of times, I've had some base hits, I've had some failures,
Uh-huh.
is that I have perspective now. I don't, I know, in this, obviously very Zen philosophy, but this too shall pass.
Right, right.
So I try to not get too ruffled by the inevitable slings and arrows that come up, because I know more often than not there's a successful resolution of that issue.
Mm-hmm.
Even if it is painful,
Right.
it will pass, and there will be successes, there will be failures. Even assuming you become more successful, there will be failures.
Absolutely.
So I guess perspective is just really important for me.
Yep.
I feel like if I got too stressed out, every time
Mm-hmm.
we had the city who is making a bad call about particular approval we're looking for, I mean, I die from stress.
Right, right, exactly. And a lot of it, I think, too, is really having that belief in yourself, and that in yourself and in your business and with your idea that you are going to prevail. So that's one of the things I definitely talk about in my book. I want to take a step back for a second, because I want to make sure that I understand and our viewers understand who's your ultimate customer. Who is it that you really are marketing to? And an individual person that just has some land up in Sonoma County, they want to build a house, they would go to your website and contact you through there, or are you really selling more towards developers? Who is
Both. I
both?
mean, we've got developers as clients, and we've got end users. We've got more individual homeowners right now,
Uh-huh.
but we're working with more and more developers, and in fact, we're working on doing some development. So,
Oh, good.
yeah. Oh, yeah.
That's great. Great. Well, listen, what's your next big plan, Steve? Your next big thing that you're so excited about that you're going to do?
So we'll talk in the not too distant future about a specific development project, which we're really excited about here.
Cool.
And then you'll see more different types of homes that hopefully addresses the needs of people
Uh-huh.
that we're trying to serve.
Got it.
So we introduced a new applied C6 at the Dwell conference last month,
Uh-huh.
which people really liked, we really liked. We'll do more different versions, more different types of models.
Cool. Now, how big is your office? How many staff do you have?
Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 full-time, and then a bunch of part-time people.
Uh-huh. That's very cool. Very cool. And I always love asking people this that I have on the show. Let's just say you have gone through so much right now, and to bring this company, which is just an amazing company, livinghomes.net. Everybody's going to go there. But you've got a brand new person, a brand new entrepreneur that's sitting in front of your desk, or maybe somebody that's been in the business for a couple of years and they really want to ramp up their business regardless. And they want to know the one or two things from Steve Glenn. What are the one or two things they have to master to be successful in business? What would those be?
Well, let's see. More than anything, perseverance.
Perseverance.
If you want to be an entrepreneur, it's a marathon almost. You hear stories of less these days. Well, I mean, it even happens these days of the Twitters, and although Twitter was around for a little bit, or maybe the Waves, which was just bought by Google, but more often than not, it's a marathon.
Yeah.
It's not a sprint. So you have to pace yourself, and you have to have perspective. There'll be times, there will be places along the race, to continue the metaphor, where you feel pain, where it's difficult, and it's important to understand that often, but not always, you'll be able to push through that and get to a better place. And so, perseverance gets you to the finish line. Luck is great, talent is great, both enormously helpful, but perseverance can luck and talent without perseverance, you're oftentimes not going to finish. So that's one. And then the other is to get clear on, are you solving a real problem? Are you solving a problem people really care about? Are you solving a problem that people will pay money? I don't know. A lot of business ideas I hear. I'm not convinced there's a real problem there, or there may be a problem, but I'm not convinced that many people care about it to actually pay you money to solve that problem.
Well, for me, it's all really about, not only adding value to consumers, but, being in service. Are you actually being in service and adding value to, people's lives? And you are certainly doing that, Steve, in spades with your company. No question about it. One of the things I've talked about I actually just gave a talk down in Southern California last week, and I talked about how entrepreneurs really need to be a lot more holistic, in their approach to their business and their approach to life. And a lot of that has to come with their mental health and their physical health, because if you don't have those things rocking, if you will, then, it's really hard to sort of sustain that perseverance and have the energy to keep your business together. Are you, from the physical standpoint, do you have certain habits or certain things that you do that help you sort of get you through those rocky days?
Probably my biggest is just exercise. It's like a key part of my stress management system. I'm not a big drinker, and or other things that people do to kind of manage stress. So that's a key one for me.
What's your exercise of choice?
Mostly trail running these days.
Trail running?
Yeah. I love biking, and I do that, and at times I do a lot of it, a little bit of swimming. But I'm actually a competitive trail runner. Like, I do races and
got it.
Long races and things like that.
Well, very cool. Well, listen, Steve, thanks a million for being on the show. I really, really appreciate it. Again, we're going to get everybody over to livinghomes.net. Check out these very cool houses that Steve has there. Thanks so much, Steve, for you being on the show. I really appreciate it, man.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.
All right, you take care.
Best of luck. Okay, take care. Bye.
Hey, everybody. Wasn't Steve cool? I love talking to Steve, man. Check out this website here. He's got the coolest website at livinghomes.net. If you like looking at really cool pictures of beautiful homes that are not only gorgeous, but warm and inviting and also green and LEED certified. Awesome. This guy has got some great advice for us. I really enjoyed talking to him a lot. And I just love the perseverance comment, man. How many times have we heard that? Persevere. Because that's really what it's all about. Steve, thanks a million. I really appreciate you being on the show. Want to make sure everybody jumps on below. Give me some love. Let us know what you think about livinghomes.net and our interview with Steve. And make sure you jump on to massiveabundanceinc.com. Get yourself a free goodie. And again, thanks for joining us today. I appreciate it. Again, my name is Chris Stafford with The Max Show, and may massive abundance be yours.